All right, so welcome at this live stream. My name is Andre, and today we got some cool stuff planned. We're going to talk about playing by ear. A lot of people do it, and a lot of people want to do it, but they don't know how. And some people who do it want to get better at it. And I think I have some talking points today that are going to definitely make things a little bit easier for you going forward. So what I would like to know actually is like, because I'm sending out these, I'm setting up the live stream like a day before. Do you actually get the notification or not? So if you're listening, I would really appreciate it if you just type in like, yes, I get the notification, or no, I don't get the notification. Also, if you've been coming back regularly, or maybe this is your first time, like what kind of stuff would you like to see happening on this channel? So, in any case, I'm prepared. I got my freshly brewed coffee here, and I have the remainder of this morning. So while this one is still working its magic, I can definitely have a sip here. Yeah, I hope you guys are doing great. Oh yeah, Jerry, yeah, you got your notification, but it was buried in your subscription feed. Yeah, I guess if you have, yeah, there was something weird going on there. Not sure why, but yeah, that's. I guess that was the first time then, hey. So just so everybody knows, Jerry and I actually text each other almost on a daily basis now. It's almost like we're married, which is weird, but yeah, he's one of my students, and that's how it goes. All right, so let's just get started, and then at some point, I'm gonna go into questions, and yeah, and then we'll see how it goes. I'm really hoping for some interaction. That's my main thing. More content on playing by ear, please. Well, that's what's going to happen today. All right. So first, a little bit of an intro. So you and I hear the same things. So when you listen to music, you hear the same things that I do. So there is no difference there. It's not that you have better ears than I do. It's got nothing to do with that. However, we process the sounds that we hear differently, probably. And maybe I was already processing sounds differently when I was a kid. I can't speak to that. But the main thing is that through transcribing, I've gained a lot more experience in how to process what I'm listening to. So on one end, there's a technique to transcribing, but at the same time, it's also experience. So the more you do it, the better you will get at transcribing songs. So the best thing to do is to just get started. Like that's the shortcut actually, is to just get started on simple songs and start building that experience, because that experience will come a long way very quickly. So what is it that I do differently? Well, over time, I've learned to focus on specific things in music. When somebody hears a song for the first time, maybe they hear the entire band. If you play an instrument, like most of us do, probably we focus a little bit more on the guitar part of it, right? If you're a guitar player. If you're a singer, you'll focus a little bit more on the singing, although most people would, because that's what most songs are for. A drummer will maybe pay more attention to the drums and what they're doing. So already there, if you play an instrument, that is already working as a filter, a way to focus on something. Now, what we want to do is be more intentional in our focus, not just because we play a certain instrument, but because we want to hear that specific thing. And this is something that I learned, I guess, when I was studying music at the conservatory, where I was transcribing big band scores. And if you have an orchestra with like 20 horn players and, trumpet players, saxophone, you name it, and you want to hear that line that sort of is buried there in the middle, then that's going to be really, really tricky in the beginning. It's not a place where you would start. But through focusing on a specific instrument, you can actually start to follow the line. It's not that the other sounds aren't there, but it's more that you're much more aware of that specific instrument. All right. So basically, when we transcribe, we're training our filtering process by becoming aware of more specific things in a song, whether it's the drums or the bass or a melody instrument or whatever. Okay, so what is a good way to start with transcribing? So if you want a quick and dirty way, here it is. So you start out with a song that you know well. The reason for that, why you want to start with a song that you know well, is because all the melodies and everything is already kind of stored in your memory. So it's going to be much easier to figure out the melody notes, for instance, or to hear the bass line because you've heard it so many times. If you do this on... Okay, so I'm seeing comments come in. I'm gonna get to that very quickly. So hold on. But if you start with a song that you know really well, it's just gonna make the process a whole lot easier. The quick and dirty way is to figure out the bass notes. So you just grab your instrument, and then you listen and you just play it back. You can play the song back at a slower speed and you try to figure out the bass notes. And I'm going to show you how to do that as well. Then once you have the bass notes, you can add a minor or a major quality to them. So for instance, if you find the bass note G, you just try G major chord. And if that doesn't work, you try G minor. Now, I'm going to be very honest here. I called it quick and dirty because there's songs that are going to have certain chords that have a different bass note. So it might not necessarily always work. But for actually quite a few songs, that would be all you need. It's just a way for you to get started and not to get hung up on specifics, I guess, and trying to be too detailed in the beginning, right? So at first you just want to start. Once you're started and you start doing these things, you can go more into the details. All right, so let's address a couple of the comments. Let's see. So I don't know, the Moises app for smartphone helps. I have no idea what that app is. Jerry, if you can expand on that in the comments, that would be great. Let's see. Is rhythm a more important thing to focus on than melody or pitch? Well, that depends. So I think rhythm in music is one of the most important parts. I place it higher. Oh, it isolates instrument tracks. I'll get back. I'll get back to that. I'm getting a dry mouth here. So is rhythm a more important thing to focus on than melody or pitch? So as I said, it depends. I think rhythm is more important than pitch and melody. I'll give you a quick example. If you're listening to a band, right, and that band grooves like crazy, everybody's on the dance floor, but they're playing a couple of mistakes. Maybe there's a wrong bass note. Probably no one will hear. But if that groove is sloppy and it's not really going anywhere, then people on the dance floor are going to be like, what's going on? Nobody wants to dance. I think rhythm is a deeper connection for us because it's been there probably before pitch. So that's why I think that one is important. Can you learn, what is it? Kiowa by Portraits. I don't know. Maybe we can use it as an example later on in this stream. Not that I would do the whole thing necessarily, but just to try. Let's see. And does focusing on rhythm make it more easier to transcribe a song, or is it all the same? No, I think in the beginning, if I was trying to figure out a song, I would start with the pitch, like the bass notes first, just to get my chord framework, and then go from... So a good guitar player should dance more. I know where you're going with this, Jerry. You're trying to catch me on something because I said I don't dance. Yeah, actually, I do believe that. I think if you're a musician and you know how to move, it probably makes you a better musician too. All right. So about the app, and then we're going to go back into this thing about the app. So if you have an app that isolates certain instruments. So for instance, I know I have on the computer, I have an app that can isolate the bass guitar. And sure, I think those things are great tools to use. It makes the threshold a lot lower for you to get started on this stuff. So yeah, I think you could definitely use those things. Over time, as you start to figure out things with that app, your expertise level goes up. You start to be able to do more, and then eventually you'll start to be able to, how do I call it? Not necessarily use that app anymore. You just pull up a song on YouTube or Spotify, and you just start transcribing. And wait a second. So I'm saying transcribing here. I'm talking about figuring out how to play a song by ear. I'm talking more about essentially a rough version of it. All right. So let's put the quick and dirty way to the test. Let's make sure that I have sound on my guitar. It's still on. Yeah, there you go. All right. So let's find a song. What is an easy song to use? Let's see. Hey, Armin Veer. It was great having you here. And yeah, if you come back after you get up, you can rewatch the whole live stream. So what is it? Yeah, let's do easy song. I'm gonna do a quick easy song. The Commodores, easy. Isn't that great? All right, let's see if we can hear this. I'm not hearing it. Oh, there we go. So what I'm focusing on is not the whole piano part. I'm focusing here on the lowest note. Boom. Oh man, this bass is so like on top of everything. So that should be good. So all right. Now here's the thing. Sometimes I see people try to figure stuff out and they do it in this way. So they try the first one. Hold on. 1, 2, 3. Boom. All right. So they're looking for that bomb. They have their first note and they're like, that's not it. That's not it. And then they do this. They go, that's not it. No, that's not it. And they just jump all over the neck of the guitar. or maybe they do that on the piano. So the first thing that you want to do is just analyze what you're hearing. So when I hear, girl, I'm leaving, boom, and I hear this, dum, boom. So this one is lower. Now sometimes you just don't hear it, but this one is a little bit lower. So I would just start going up chromatically, just one fret at a time until I hit that note. Okay, so this would probably be the note. Okay, this is really tricky because I do, anyways. So here we go. Bum. Girl, I'm leaving. Bum, 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 bum. So I feel that there's a couple of steps in there. So bum, 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 bum. Okay, so it goes from this note to that note. Bum, bum. You tomorrow. Bum, bum. So now it goes back down. Bum, bum, bum. So there. So we have 3 bass notes here. So dum, dum, dum. Okay. So now what I said was we start applying a major or a minor quality to them. So let's see if that works for this song. I don't know. It sounds funny, but... Okay, so let's just try major for the first one. Actually, that does definitely work. Right? So that's a major chord. So then it goes da da da. Let's try a major chord on that one as well. So 2, 3, 4. So we got. That sounds off to me. So I turn it into minor and let's see where that goes. And then is the third chord then? Ah. So it goes to minor. So yeah, boom. So we have the first chord, major, the next chord minor, the next chord minor, and then it went to a different bass note. Doom, boom, boom. Dun, dun, dun. Okay, so that one. So would that be major then? So let's try. So this is the quick and dirty way. So we're going to get into a more like sort of advanced way to do it, but so. Yeah, and that would work. So this is how you can start. Now, this is apparently this song, it is doable that way. And other songs, it's going to be a lot trickier, and you're going to get into chords where you're like, well, nothing is working. Major is not working. Minor is not working. You're going to run into all kinds of issues. Don't be afraid of that. It's all part of the process, and you might spend a day or a week trying to figure out what that one chord is, and that's totally fine. It's all part of the process. What you can also do, of course, is once you've got the main thing figured out, then you just look up online, what was that one chord that I couldn't figure out? And then you see what it is, and it's like, oh, that's what it is. That's what that sounds like. And then you know. All right, so let's move on to the next part. So this is, what is the framework for most songs, or what framework are they based on? So we're going to be talking about key, we're going to be talking about scale, and chords. So what is a key? So basically a key is just a bunch of notes, a group of notes and chords that belong together. That's the simplest explanation that I can give for it. When you use those chords in any order, it will kind of sort of sound like it works. and you can play all those notes in a sort of a melody over all of those chords, and it will work. There's it would be. I mean, of course, you can play things that don't sound great that way, but essentially that should sound okay. So how are these things gonna help us with the songs? Well, most songs are written in a key. So if you can figure out what the key is of a certain song, and we'll get to that, then it becomes much easier guessing what the chords will be that you hear, right? So if I take this song for an example, I could have had that first chord, that first bass note. Do, do, do. So I already have 3 notes there. Do, 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 do. If I know, if you know the major scale, you know that these 3 notes could be, I'm not saying that they are, but they could be the first 3 notes of the major scale. Right? Since most people hear the melody better than they do the bass notes, that could be their starting point. So it sounds funny, but it sounds funny, but I just can't stand the pain. Girl, I'm leaving you tomorrow. Seems to me, girl, you know I've done all I can. You see a big stone and a bottle. Yeah. So the thing is sometimes it's easier to figure out the notes of the melody for some. This one, maybe it would work less for this song. I don't know. But anyways, once you have those notes, you have your scale. Once you have your scale, you are very close to figuring out what the key is. Now, with all these notes that we have, these notes could be both the major scale or the minor scale, right? So the minor scale would be it uses the exact same notes as the major scale. It just starts on a different place. It has a different focus point. So with the major scale, it focuses on that A flat major chord here. The same notes over the F minor chord make it sound like a minor scale. I feel like I'm derailing a little bit here, so I wanna reel this back in. So knowing your major scale and minor scale can help you more quickly find what the key of a song is. Another way to do that, so one is to figure out the notes of the song. Another way to do that is to just pick a random song. I'm going to do another one. Let's see. Why not more Commodores? So Brick House. Or maybe a different one. Let's see. Oh, Night Shift. I like that one. So what you can also do is just play the notes of the major scale, start in a place, and just try to figure out where to play that major scale so it fits the song. So like this. Let's see. Okay, let's listen to it first, and I'll show you what I mean. Okay. That doesn't work. That's really funny, actually, because I'm also ending up on A flat major scale here. At least the shape of the scale. Let's just yeah. So that's by coincidence. I didn't know that because I haven't listened to the Commodores in a very, very long time. But anyway, so that's also a way to it. All right, so let's get into a couple of questions here. So first, how does diminished work into the mix? Same as a minor. Yeah, so when it comes to diminished chords, let's just keep them out of our framework for a second here. So most of the popular songs use major and minor chords. There are dominant chords in there as well. So seventh chords, you can replace them with major chords. The diminished ones are can be a little bit trickier. That's not where I want to go to right now. And then let's see. But all pentatonic notes in a key will always sound good in that key. Well, yeah, all notes within a key will sound good in that key. And then how are you? And you were figuring out back and forth slide between two notes just from experience. That I'm not really sure what you're talking about. What I just did was I just started. So what I did when I was growing up. So what I did when I started playing the guitar, when I knew one scale, what I would do is I would put on an Iron Maiden song. I'm sorry, I was into Iron Maiden and Metallica at the time. I would put on an Iron Maiden song, and I only knew that scale, and I just started moving it up the neck until I found the place where it fit the key of the song, and then I started soloing over the song. And I've done that so many times that I just think it's I mean, either you figure out the notes, the bass notes first or whatever, or you can just start moving that scale up chromatically and then, oh, wait a second, this is the one. It gives you a starting point. It's all about finding something that gives you something to hang on to, I guess. Yeah, so hopefully I answered your question. I kind of missed the difference between key and scale. So a key is both the scale and the chords, right? So a key is, maybe I don't actually, so I've always explained it to people as just the scale and the chords that belong together. And I guess it's, yeah, so for instance, when something is in the key of C major, you have the chords that go with it, you have the notes that go with it, and it centers around the chord C, like the C chord is the home chord, so to speak. Hopefully that answers it to a degree. I'm pretty sure that Rick Beato would be able to give a much more elegant explanation of it, but I'm not him. And I have my own strengths, hopefully. Okay. So back to the major scale. So if you have a major scale, so let's go to C major, right? So C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. Every major scale has chords that come with it. So if you would build chords from each note, these would be the chords. So it would be C major chord, the D minor chord, the E minor chord, the F major chord, the G major chord, the A minor chord, and the B diminished chord, right? So okay. The major scale is a certain sort of formula, so which is the whole step, half step, whole step, half step. The chords that are attached to a major scale are also a formula, which is major, double minor, major, major, minor, diminished, back to the root chord. So the first note's always going to be a major chord. The second note's always going to be minor. The third note's going to be minor. The fourth is going to be, what is it? The fourth is going to be major. The fifth is going to be major as well. And this is kind of interesting. So there is this song. So this is Hallelujah. Hallelujah. I'll take the Jeff. Oh, Buckley. Oh, I want Buckley. Yeah. So there's this thing where he sings like the major lift and the fourth, the fifth. Let's see. Yeah, so it goes like this, the fourth, the fifth. It's funny. Like like the lyrics of the song actually indicate the movement of the chords. It just made me think of that. Let's see. So the thing is that I think if you have a notion of the major scale and you know what chords go with that major scale, so you know the key, then, for instance, in this song, I know the notes are these. So that is either the D flat major scale or the A minor scale. If I just look at it from the D flat major scale, the one chord is major, so I don't have to think about that anymore. I just know that this is going to be D flat major. Then it goes to the sixth chord, which is going to be minor, which is B flat minor, and then back to major to the minor chord. The minor fall and the major lift. So it makes the guessing a little bit easier. And then once you start to hear a chord in there that you think like, wait a second, that one sounds very different. It feels like it's falling outside of my, like the sound that feels comfortable. That might be an indication that you're hearing a chord that might be outside of the key, right? Hopefully this is helping so far. I think I started off fairly good, but then I have a feeling I dropped off a little bit. So let's talk about the process a little bit. So what I think is important is that you start with something easy, right? Start with an easy song, something where you can hear the bass notes clearly, like that Commodore song, or you start with a song that just has guitar and vocals. Start with something that you know very well. Then you work from what you can hear. And don't be afraid to just try stuff. So if I just click a random song, listen to a note and just try to go up chromatically on your guitar. Try to just find small things to hang on to, right? That's always better than not doing anything at all, or just listening to it and hoping that it comes to you. You have to work it. It's a process. So anything you can figure out will help you out. Yeah, then the other thing is that it's good to accept that this process is going to take time, and you will make mistakes and you will learn from those mistakes. I mean, everybody who knows my channel just a little bit knows that there are a few tutorials that have absolutely zero mistakes in them. I don't think there is such a thing. There's always something that you've overlooked, something that you didn't hear properly, or yeah, it's really important to know that it's not about getting it perfect. It's important to just work at it and do your thing. All right, so I want to open up this for I saw something here in the chatty part, and it says start like a question and answer session. So I want to start doing that. Oh, that's what it is. Okay, so that's different than that's different from what I thought it was. So from here, what I can do is show you a few more so that you have an idea of how this works. Maybe do that, and then if you have any questions, please, I would love to hear those questions. I have to find a song though that I don't know. Jerry, you had a song from what is it? From Willie Nelson. Maybe we could do that one. Just put it in the comment section. Let's see. I want it to be something nice. Nightlife. There you go. Thank you. There you go. Nightlife. And anyone who is listening in, like, this is your chance to get me to transcribe a song for you, or to figure something out. Willie Nelson. And it was a live version in Austin. 1979. Yeah, that's it. That's the one. Nightlife, live from Austin, Texas. Let's see what we can figure out.
And when the evening sun goes down, you're gonna find me hanging around. A nightlife ain't no good life, but it's my life.
So this one is definitely not the one I would suggest someone starting with. So I'm gonna pick a different one. I mean, I can do it a little bit, so you can see me do that. But this involves more than the basics.
When the evening sun goes down, you're gonna find me hanging around.
No, that sounds like a fifth drop or a quarter. I don't know. Oh, that's a third. Sorry, down, boom.
Ain't no good life.
Down, 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 down.
But it's my life.
Down. Yeah.
Many people just like me, dreaming of old used to be.
Yeah, so as you can see, I'm stumbling through this, which is very normal. So I'm just trying to find those bass notes that I hear. I am very bass note oriented, so I'm just trying to find those bass notes. Then I'm attaching chords to them, like, oh, is it this? Is it that? And as I go through it, I'm starting to find more and more chords, and I'm starting to get an idea of what it is. Now, as I said, this is not the most straightforward song to do, and I wanted it to be something that you can sort of start with. What's an easy tune? What is an easy tune? Let's see, country music. Let's just try some country music. Hopefully that, as I never do country music on my channel. So let's hope this doesn't mean Tennessee whiskey. Let's do that. Let's try this. Boom.
Used to spend
Boom.
my nights out ballroom. Liquor was the only love I'd known. But you rescued me
So
from
only thing I did here was just find those two bass notes. I just tried major and minor qualities, and that's the first part of it. But since this is a major chord and that a minor chord, I'm thinking this is most likely in the key of A major. It has the A major scale attached to it. So that means that once we get to, I'm assuming there's going to be other chords, those are going to be within that framework. There you hear. So that is. So that almost is like a. So that's a little bit of a. What is it? A major going to D over A. This would have been easier with a capo, actually.
Tennessee whiskey. You're as sweet.
Oh, wow.
Strawberry wine. Oh, 'cause there's nothing.
Is this song just two chords? Wow, this song is just two chords. Okay, so this is not a great. All right, let's try this one then.
Sing my share of broken halos, floating wings that used to fly.
Boom, do, do, do. Do, 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 do. Okay.
They've all gone wherever they go. Broken halos that used to shine.
So that one sounds major. So I already have like a couple ones. I have this one, that one. What also helps sometimes is just trying to go down. I'll look at Hey Delilah in a second. Yeah. So what you can also do is just try to sing the incompleted scale, right? So you get down, 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 right? So sometimes you can sing the notes that are not necessarily in the bass notes, but because you hear the context, you already have, your ears already kind of grasped the key, so they kind of know the scale, so you can sort of figure it out that way as well. So this is in the key of A flat major. So let's go back.
Sing my share of broken halos, floating wings that used to fly.
And because I think it's in the key of A flat, well then if he goes to this bass note, which is the fourth chord is major, so that would be my go-to. So yeah, and I would just try. And when he goes to this lower one, I would pick minor because a third down from the root is the 6th chord, which is minor. So this is where key, the knowledge of key, really starts to help you out. And you can imagine that if you do this a lot, so if you figure songs out a lot, at some point you're going to get to a point where you listen to a song and you can just play it. And you don't need to do much. You don't need to look anything up. You don't need an internet connection. You don't need tablature. You just start playing. All right, let's try the Hey There Delilah one. All right, so Hey There Delilah. Now, a full disclaimer here. I have done a tutorial on Hey There Delilah in the past, but I don't know exactly what key it is in, so I'd still have to figure it out. And I also don't know the chord progression. I know I did a tutorial on it, but yeah. So let's see. From the Plain White Tees. Is it like the Plain White T-shirts? That's an interesting name for a band. All right, here we go. Right. Okay, so we have D, and then it goes to F sharp. The first chord sounds major-ish. That one sounds minor-ish. Now, the thing is that there is only one key. Well, maybe not one, but it would make a lot of sense. So it starts with a D major chord. Third chord here is a F sharp minor. So this might be in the key of D major. Right? So let's listen to the melody. Hey there, Delilah, what's it like in New York City? I'm 1,000 miles away, but girl, tonight you look so pretty. Yes, you do. There you go. So the thing is what I just did is I assumed that it was going to be then the D major scale, but it could have also been something different. But to just try it, what I did next was I was looking for the starting note for the melody, and just trying to figure out the melody using the notes from the D major scale. So there's different ways to go about it to find out what the key is. Doesn't watching a video make it easier because you can watch where they are playing? Yes, definitely. However, yeah, I think that's definitely true. I think there is I'm doing it specifically now this way because otherwise it becomes more of a visual exercise, like me looking or somebody else trying to look at what somebody is doing rather than listening. Okay, so here's an interesting thing. So sometimes when I explain something to a student, and let's say I'm playing just that. Sometimes they're more sort of looking than they are listening. So they would play notes on a different string than I am, and they can't figure out why they're wrong because they're not listening to my melody line going up and therefore to the next string, and they're still trying to play it on the same string, right? So it's if you can use a live version of something and it can work really, really well, I think. But the thing is that for some people, it's going to be tricky because they're more looking at something rather than using their ears. So I think it's really important to engage your ears. And if they're playing in Kathmandu or Bali, is it going to sound the same? I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I understand that commentary. What do you mean? But anyways, so the thing is that, oh my gosh, because this thing, dude, you're funny. But anyways, so yeah, that was by chance. But anyways, so the thing is that you really want to engage your ears. You want to, if anything that you've picked up from this is I use my voice a lot. So I try to sing the notes that I'm trying to find because I want to store that little bit of information so that when I'm looking for that note, I still have the original note in my ears, so to speak, so that it's easier to find it. So yeah, and that's something that I wrote down actually, and that I wanted to mention earlier in the video is that what you want to do is you want to engage your melodic memory and your melodic awareness. So that means that when you listen to something, it's not just for that moment, but you really try to be super aware of that sound. Sometimes I just do this. I would just go back. And if I didn't get it, I go back. Until I grab that note with my ears. But sort of, I can kind of store that note in my memory. And then I could start like here. And know that, oh yeah, that's where that note is at. Hopefully that makes sense. So to sum it up, kind of, what I think is important is to realize is that, like I said in the beginning, we all hear the same things. So basically, it's about learning to filter the music for the things that we need to figure out the song. So that could be a bass note, that could be a melody note, whatever it is. When we do the process of transcribing a lot, that means that we're training our filters so we get much better and better and better at it. So we become much more efficient. If you want to just do a quick start with a song you know well, and then you just figure out the bass notes and you add a minor or a major quality to those bass notes. And that should help you a lot in trying to find what those chords should be. Now, of course, some of those, sometimes the major quality or the minor quality is not gonna help you much, and that's where you need to start dig into things a little deeper. What really helps is, even if you just know the C major scale, the chords for the C major key, that would be a great starting point. Remember those chords for the key as like the root chord, the 1 chord is major, the 2 chord is minor, 3 chord is minor, 4, 5 chord are both major, 6 chord is minor, 7 chord is is diminished. So that means that on the first note of the scale, you're going to have a major chord, on the second note of the scale, minor chord, etc. So those are really important things. The minor scale, it works the same, but at the same time a little differently. But that is something that I'm not going to get into now because we're pushing towards the end of the stream. What's actually very great is that there's still a few people here, so thank you for that. And then, yeah, start with the easy stuff. Work from what you can hear and anything that you can figure out will help you. So don't try to, don't beat yourself up if you can't get to a certain note. Then try to see if you can find something else in there that will give you a good starting point. Yeah. Well, hopefully that was helpful. Are there any questions? And this could be anything, so it can be related to this. But if there's other stuff that you'd like to talk about, that we can do that as well. I still have a couple of minutes left. My main goal for best played on a Berlin guitar. My Berlin guitar is tuned to E flat, so it's actually, okay, so I do want to end with a little story. So that Berlin guitar, not sure if I told you that story, but anyways, that Berlin guitar, when I started playing guitar, and I switched to electric guitar, I bought a Fender Squier and a Parker amp. And after a while, so I was really serious about my guitar playing. So I think after a year or so, I'm not really sure when, I purchased a really kick-ass amp. So I bought the Marshall JMP1 plus, I'm not sure what end stage I had, and then the 1640 AB cabinet, so the stereo cabinet with the 4 12-inch Celestion speakers. Damn, that thing was super loud, and it's why one of my ears is not working as well as it did before I had that amp. But yeah, that was heaven. However, I still had that Fender Squier. So at some point I wanted to buy another guitar, and there was a store in Eindhoven in the Netherlands that had the Patrick Eggle Berlin behind glass, but I was always afraid to ask the guys if I could, can I play that guitar? Can I take it out and play it? I don't know. It felt very intimidating to me. It's like, it's behind glass. I can't. It's only for the great ones, And then I went from store to store over months. I don't know how many stores I visited, probably 12 or 15 stores in the Netherlands, like guitar stores. And then eventually, I think it was in Nijmegen, where I found, it was one of the last ones. I was like, this weekend, I'm just going to make a decision. I went into the store, and they had the Patrick Eggle Berlin, and it was standing there on a stand, not behind glass. So I straight went to that, and I started playing. And from the first moment, I was like, wow, this thing sounds awesome. I was really happy with how it sounded. I mean, I was more of a metal guitar player at the time. But yeah, I played that thing probably for an hour and a half or an hour, and I just kept going. And especially within the price range that I was able to find guitars. I mean, I tried a Joe Satriani, Ibanez, and none of them sounded great. None of them sounded, they just didn't sound great. But this one was, the brand was pretty unknown at the time, but it just sounded fantastic, especially within that price range that I was looking for. So yeah, if you want to sell your stuff, don't put it behind glass. Definitely. Yeah. Or if you see someone drooling over a guitar in front of that thing, just walk over and be like, would you like to try it? Because, I definitely think there's plenty of people who are afraid to try things out. So, yeah. Anyways, that's how it goes. Yeah. But anyways, I bought the guitar, almost sold it to a student, and then the day that I was going to sell it, I couldn't do it. And I called him and I said, you know what? I can't. I think the guitar is too dear to me, and I'm glad I didn't, because I still play it to this day. It's too much a part of me that, it's just, I couldn't part with it. I have more great guitar stories. Maybe next time I'll talk to you about the day I played at the Guitar Center in San Francisco on one of the cheapest guitars there, and yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was at the start of my honeymoon. I'm not gonna do that story now. We'll save it for next time. But Jerry, since you're mostly always here, maybe you could help remind me of that one. All right. Well, it's 10:01. I think it's safe to say that we can conclude this stream. Hopefully it was helpful. If you have any questions once this stream is closed, just place them as a comment below the below the video, and yeah, and we'll see what we can do in another stream. Next stream is going to be next week on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 9 a.m. I hope to see you there. It was a lot of fun, and don't be shy in the comment section, right? I love when people comment. So have a good one, and I'll see you next week. I'm going to prepare for my camping trip this weekend. Bye.